Giving some context in terms of that training, am I looking forward to this run in 2 days? I want to answer it honestly. That's when you know you're doing an ultramarathon. There's just eyelashes on the trail. Just false eyelashes everywhere. Hi, I'm Kenny Hill with Recovery, and I decided it would be a fantastic idea to run for 12 hours and attempt 50 miles within those 12 hours. I guess I should jump back to the end of the last run I did, which was a 50-kilometer, 31-mile run on a track for over 124 laps. You can check the video out up here. That run was titled the Fund Run for One. And me and another colleague, Ricky Townsend, put together a grassroots effort. And this would be for one person that otherwise couldn't afford this type of care. They have no insurance. They would be on a long wait list through the county. So instead of doing that, what we decided to do was to raise money for one individual. So at the end of that last 50K, I ran the 31 miles and I got to the end, and it was really cool. It was a great experience, but I had this lingering thing within me at the end. The thing that was lingering with me at the end is I think I got more in the tank. So I can give you a timeline of how all this kind of played out. What I'll do is I'll leave in the description box how this went with a link to the video. So the first one was the marathon. I ran a marathon without training for it. When I say no training for it, literally, I mean zero training for it. I had all these excuses not to do a marathon. And then instead of listening to those excuses, I went and I did a marathon. And the experience leveled up my game dramatically. The next thing I did was that 50K run. And in order to do the 50K run, I had to have an agreement with my wife that, hey, I'm going to actually train for this one this time. And so you don't have to worry about me dying of dehydration or something. I'm going to actually train for it. And so I completed the 50K run. This was the first fun run for one, and somebody got into treatment as a result. It was bittersweet for me. I'm like, okay, that was a great experience. We're going to get somebody into treatment, but man, I still have something left in the tank. I don't know what I could have done if I really pushed my body the same way I pushed my body in that first marathon without training for it. So once the wheels got spinning again, and I'm thinking, okay, well, what's the next thing I ought to do? And I thought, well, I don't know, what's the next thing? Maybe 50 miles? I do feel that there's another journey. So maybe a 50-miler, but I do feel like I want to find that experience where I grow in my capabilities and what I think I'm capable of. With the same goal at hand as to teaming up with a program that would be willing to fundraise money for somebody to go into their program and get free treatment for 30 days. So here's what the run is. The run is a 1-mile loop, and it's for 12 hours. So the standard for me is that I'm going to complete the 12 hours on my feet without needing to be hospitalized or without quitting due to injury or exhaustion or dehydration or whatever. My standard is that I will not quit no matter what. My objective within the standard is I want to complete 50 miles. That's this micro goal, is I want to complete 50 miles. The training for this has been pretty bad. The training was going really good for about a month and a half. I was doing trails. Just get out in nature and really enjoy some of the beautiful views. After finding out that the 12-hour run was going to be on pavement, I decided to start doing a lot of highway miles. I got to see some beautiful sunrises. Where I live, it's particularly hilly, so I got to run up and down really large hills. I could see my times actually getting better and better and better. My recovery was improving faster and faster and faster. My knee pain began to actually go away. which is so freaking weird to me. I was really feeling good about this. Like, wow, my body is really adapting to this endurance running. Then one day I wake up for another highway run, and I realize that my Achilles tendons have this weird, almost like popping, like as if you took a rubber band and extended it as far as it can, and then try to get another inch out of it, maybe. And that extra inch is what I was feeling in both of my left and right Achilles. It was like this, it was like a almost like this popping feeling. It felt as if my Achilles tendon was just going to rupture at any second. According to my diagnosis, Achilles tendinopathy. So from that point, my training drastically changed. I don't want to cancel the opportunity for somebody to be able to get high quality 30 days of mental health treatment because of some freaking injury I'm dealing with. So I decided to adjust, call an audible, and try to make training happen in a way to where I can somehow hold up conditioning, but it would be less on my body. So I bought this thing for my road bike, and it kind of sits on the back tire, and it will just spin the back tire. It's, I don't know, like a very cheap version of a Peloton that I can actually afford. I can't ride my road bike where I live up in the hills. It's just too dangerous. People texting and driving, they're going to kill me if I'm on my road bike in between those turns. I spent weeks on this, approximately 3 months, switching between the assault bike and the road bike with that back wheel spinner thing. Essentially doing only one long run a week. And it was important that it was on level ground, because anytime I was doing incline runs like I would do on a highway here, it would really start to tear apart that Achilles tendon again. So going back to the track where I did the 50-kilometer run, and I've become very familiar. I've done a lot of laps on that track at this point. What I was recognizing on my long runs was my body, man. My body was just not conditioned for the longer runs. Cardiovascularly, I was doing okay, but my body was really feeling every single step, every single mile. Normally, if I do a 16-mile training session, a 20-mile training session, something like that, I can escape and I can go into this flow state in my mind, and I can find like this respite for miles. 6 miles will go by and I'm kind of wake up and I'm out of it. I'm like, oh, wow, 6 miles just went by. Not for this training, not at all. Once the Achilles started acting up, I felt every single mile, every single minute. There was no escape. There was no avoidance. I felt all the pain. And the two most memorable runs that I did during this training was a marathon distance run that I happened to do on Veterans Day for a Veterans Day charity. It's 26.2. Even though it was me alone on a track for most of the day, and this was just a virtual marathon run, it really meant something to me as a veteran to be able to run this marathon. Man, where God brought me from, bringing me out the desert. Man, you gotta be kidding me. When I went out to the marathon that day, the gate was locked. And I had this internal part in my head that was saying, well, you tried, dude, like, it's locked. What are you gonna do? Go home and maybe next week you can try again. I had to have this back and forth with that part that wanted me just to leave and get out of there because I was being turned away, the gate was locked. Instead, I thought, well, what's the worst that can happen if I might have squeezed myself through. I'm not a fan of trespassing. I don't condone trespassing, but I had another part in my head that was saying, well, man, you've worked really hard up to this point. You have certain obligations. What's the worst that can happen if you jump the fence and you went and you did the work? And that's what I did. Lock gates, man, lock gates. There's a lot of locked gates in your life. What are the statutes of limitations on that sort of thing? I hope I didn't just incriminate myself. I'm not telling one to break the law, but come on, baby, don't let locked gates stop you. Now, the following week, I had a planned 30-mile run. And I was going to go back out to the same track and run for 30 miles. And sure enough, I went back out to the same track and it was locked again. And what do you think I did? And while I was running, not only was I dealing with the obvious, the Achilles tendon, which was a big issue that day, but I was also just feeling really bad. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure it out. I was about 6 miles deep into the run and I'm like, man, I don't know what's going on with my body. My body is not cooperating. It was just sluggish. And I thought, well, maybe it's from the marathon last week and my body's just not up for it. It's too inflamed or something and something's going on with it. And so I pushed myself and I pushed myself. I was really proud of myself because I got 24 miles that day before I finally just called it quits. And I said, hey man, I could keep going, but what's the point? There's something wrong going on with me right now. And within the next 2 days, I had the night sweats, the cold sweats, the shaking in bed. And so, yeah, I ran those 24 miles with the flu. Giving some context in terms of that training, am I looking forward to this run in 2 days? There's like this excitement. It is so weird. It is so weird. It is so weird. So I've been doing different styles of meditations, some vision work. And when I begin to recognize the voices, the doubter in my head, the critic in my head, and I pay attention to them, and I make a deal with them, and I make a plan with them to use their skill sets in ways that can help motivate me and keep me from burning out, keep me on track. Like maybe I want the critic to come in at a certain point within the run. I'm 9 hours deep and I think I can't take another step. Maybe I want that critic to come in a little bit, maybe just a little bit.
Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off again.
So I've had just nothing but doubt the moment that I realized I couldn't train the way I'm supposed to train. And this fear is like, man, you're gonna look like an idiot. You're 3 hours into this thing and you're quitting. How terrible is that gonna look? One of my mottos, which is chasing failure. As long as you fail by trying to catch failure, you can raise your head on that and you can learn from the experience. And I love to I make sure I'm responsible about putting my money where my mouth is on these mottos. I don't just say them because they sound nice. I say them because I believe them, because I've learned that they're true, and I get to continue to learn that they're true because I'm always testing myself to be better. I have been filled with fear. Now 2 days away, I'm so excited for this opportunity to fail. I am so freaking excited for this opportunity to fail right now. From a realistic manner, I know my body is not prepared in the way that it should be prepared. But I also know that being able to push it to a place, to that edge, like I got to with the original marathon, yeah, let me get some of that. I'll take some of that in my life. Yeah. When again in my life am I going to set out to run 50 miles for the first time? The answer is never. I'll never get this opportunity again. I'll never get to experience this opportunity again to be able to attempt to run 50 miles for the first time. What a gift. What a gift.